There's so many different things and moving parts that are involved with this. And that's like, I mean, I don't even want to get into all of the details. And again, I'm not going to go graphically, but there's all this stuff. Like my hair is locked, and I find that it's easy to take care of locked, and it's easy to wash. When I did my research, it kind of scared me because people are like, here's how I wash my hair. I do a sink full of water. I do regular apple cider vinegar rinses. I'm never going to do that. I don't want vinegar in my hair. I don't like it. People are like, oh, the smell washes away. No, 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 no. It doesn't apply. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not making my life harder. I'm not trying to go do all of that stuff. There are too many steps. It's too difficult. It's not it's just, there's so many details. I'm getting fritzed to thinking about it. If I wanted to wash my hair in the sink, I would then have to go see if the sink is even empty. I would have to empty it. I would have to clean it specifically everywhere so that when I put my hair into it, my hair is getting cleaner. You know, you don't want food it's a functional sink. I would be using a kitchen sink because that's deep enough. I'm not going to do all of this stuff, and I'm especially not going to do the things some people did where it's like, hey, I've done 2 or 3, you know, the first sink full is like, that's where I put in all of my shampoos, and then the second sink full is a rinse, and then I do another rinse on top of that. That's madness. If that works for you, and it's not madness for you, fantabulous. It doesn't work for me. It's madness for me. It's anti-fantabulous. I'm not doing all of that. So when I have to do my hair washing, it's not a big deal because I go do some crazy routine, because I find that I can wash my hair in the exact same way with locks. I probably spend a little bit more time at the roots trying to make sure that, you know, I don't, like if I'm going to say something about lint, and when I say this, I don't mean teeny weeny particulate matter. I have had experiences in my life where I've had materials around where I have a huge wad of lint that's like it's like a lint bunny. There are large things you can pull and measure, and it's a whole situation, but that's a hair chat and nothing else. I've had situations where I ended up with materials I didn't realize were going to lint like crazy. So I'm, you know, strainer to make sure it doesn't go down the drain or anything, but probably spend more time at the roots of my hair. So if there is something like lint, I'm not then just trying to, you know, kind of washing it down so it just gets jammed deeper, you know. Okay, I can't find because I'm not in a mirror. If I'm probably spending more time at the roots of my hair to make sure that I wouldn't jam a wad of lint right at this point where the hair is locked, and where the lint will get trapped and not come out, and where lint of that size would actually, you know, mess with the structural integrity of my hair. But aside from just spending a few more seconds or maybe another minute, I take my time sometimes because I really like the feeling of massaging my scalp. That's not a bad thing. It's a very relaxing thing. Doing stuff like that actually makes it easier for me to wash my hair because it just feels so good and so luxurious. And then I get to smell my nice medicinal oils and stuff, whatever's in my hair washing stuff, because I like the scents and things. And ooh, especially if I'm using my peppermint. It's turning into a lock washing video. Dang. But this is in the subject matter. It's fine. No, it's okay. I'm going on a tangent about that. It's fine. It's part of the detail. So if I'm doing all of that, it's a whole extra thing, because now I have to go take my time. I do still like to wash my hair in the sink because I like being able to get that stream of water, a nice large stream of water, and I just like it works better. It's easier for me to control the heat and the temperature. I know there's going to be a nice amount of hot water because it's a whole separate action, right? And I also have the sprayer if I need it, and I'm also really in the habit of doing it because I just grab the only part in front that's not colored. I color my hair, and I don't really do the thing where you color it and people will be like, oh, I rinsed this color out. They've never used color like this before. And they're like, I rinsed the red out, and the shower looks like, they always say the shower looks like a bloodbath. And that just, I wouldn't rinse it out that way, because I'm already thinking about the fact that this is a tub of pigment. And the whole purpose is to get into the cuticle of your hair as quickly as possible and dye it for as permanently as possible. And it's not permanent, it's like semi-permanent, but I'm saying they want it to last for long enough that you feel like you are getting your money's worth and your trouble's worth. So if I know it's a tub of pigment and I know how that works, and I do, because that became a big fat interest in my life at a certain point, then I'm not going to take that route. So I do like to do it in the sink when I'm doing anything like bleach or hair color that I don't want going down over my eyes and my mouth and everywhere else. So it's really convenient for me to just stick with that for life and do it separately. It makes it easier, actually, because that's its own task I can do when I feel like it. And I really do enjoy doing hair and doing my own hair. But I found that I've got about 1 hour's worth of time where I can be like, let's do this whole, honestly, 1 hour is generous, I think. I've got about half an hour worth of time where I can go in and do anything with my hair and still be in a really good mood and feel good about it. After about 45 minutes, I'm tired. I need this to be done. After 1 hour, I've just become a different person, okay? I'm not happy anymore. You're gonna meet the side of me I don't wanna meet. It's been too much. It needed to be over half an hour ago, and it wasn't. But even though that's something that I generally kind of enjoy and that feels so good, I still have to prep myself to do it because I still don't know. I have to check the sink, and there's all this extra stuff, and there are extra steps for me, and I've got to grab all my stuff and get it together so that it's with me. And sometimes I'm sitting there like, I really want to wash my hair, and I want to do this right now, especially something like a holiday. So many times when I've gotten up on a holiday knowing I'm going to have wet locks all day long because they don't dry that quickly. They're little sponges. They absorb the water. But I was trying to do my hair for the first 3 days before that, and I just couldn't get it done. I was trying to wash my hair for 3 days before that, and I couldn't get it done because there's too much else happening. Especially back in the day, infinite Thanksgiving prep and all that stuff, which I won't get into here. And if you're curious, I did a video that's titled something like, I'm the antisocial autist, why I hate Thanksgiving. Kind of express all my feelings on stuff like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it's just too much, and I haven't been able to do it, and I'm trying to wash my hair before sleep, and I can't get it done, so I end up waking up on the day, and then, if possible, I'm washing my hair then, knowing, once again, I've got all this extra work to do. It's very much the last minute. For me, it's after the last minute, because this is not a good time frame. These things just end up happening. A good amount of the time, if it seems like it's 100% reasonable for me and I'm okay with it, I'm just not going to wash it on Christmas at that point. I've had way more experience. I'm like, oh, so often I get up Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day or birthday day and I'm washing my hair. I've had so many more experiences in life where I just couldn't deal with it. And so then I'm washing my hair, or better yet, covering faded, bad-looking hair color the day after. So I'm still in the photographs with my hair looking just messed up. Like, that's not my taste, and I think it just looks messed up. And I was desperately trying to do it for the holiday photos, could not get it done. And then I'm standing there a day later washing my hair and refreshing my color. I'm glad I'm doing this for my life. But why could I not get this done before someone walked up to photograph my life and make it look like this is how I want to present myself? I don't want to present myself that way, but sometimes there are too many other things going on. And now I feel like I've run out of energy talking about this. Let me see if there's anything I've forgotten. I do want to lay on that point that sometimes it's that we're just not okay. Because all of these other things, like, okay, you have to wash your face separately. You have to use different products. That did make things into a huge issue for me. But then because it's already an issue and I'm already apt to forget all these different extra steps and different things I have to do, what happens when there are all of these extra steps and I'm having a day and I don't have energy, or if it's a very stressful day, or if you're not feeling well, or whatever it is that's modifying your day. If you are going through something where it's draining your energy, like it's draining your life energy, and it's not that thing where we know we can rest and possibly Trying not to hiccup again. It's not that thing where we know we can rest and possibly heal over the next day or a few days or a week. But if you're just really out of energy, if you're burnt out, or if you're depressed, or if you are, because I've had this experience too, where everything was horrible and I still had to be on go, and I still had to be perfect me, and I still had to behave, and I still had to perform, and I still had to, you know, ace everything and all that stuff. So I was both depressed and burnt out. If you're dealing with something like that, where you're just out of energy long term, or you are fully in an ongoing burnout state, or you are in some level of depression, whatever level it is, because I'm not like, oh, well, this level's important and that one's not. It doesn't matter if you're depressed. All of that counts, okay? We're not scorekeeping over here. I just don't do that. That's just not me. But if you have any combination thereof, and you're then having issues taking care of yourself on a daily basis, it needs to be paid attention to. That's not just us being autistic and the fact that our brains register energy differently. So if we are burnt out, if we're exhausted, burnt out, depressed, it might make it even harder on us to take care of ourselves on a regular basis, because sometimes it's more complex for us when we're okay than it is for someone who's neurotypical and who's okay. So then imagine the difference if it's more complex and sometimes more difficult, you know, in context. Even when we're okay, or even when we're happy, because it's an energy thing. It's greatly a convenience thing. Also, there's actually maybe something else on this subject I want to talk about, convenience or inconvenience thing. But if it's more complex or possibly harder when we're happy and when we're okay, then think about the difference it must make when we're not okay, or when we're very not okay. And I don't want to miss that as a point, because I've run into people who hear autistic and they think, oh, mental instability or mental disorder, because that's how a lot of people process how different we are. And it's kind of circulating. People look at this and they're like, well, as an NT, if I had these issues, that would be because, you know, they're supposed to be average, whatever. As an NT, if I had these issues, it would be because I'm depressed or I'm messed up or whatever is wrong. And that's not necessarily how it works with us. Again, we might be happy and fine and just having different issues, but since it is so different, I just think it becomes even more important for us as a sign, especially as other neurodivergents. Let's say you have family, and this is complex because sometimes we have family and we know that family is neurodivergent, but they don't know, or maybe they are even offended by the concept. But if we know and we recognize the signs, if you have the capacity to look at someone, including yourself, who is neurodivergent and is not doing well with hygiene, with body care, there might be a moment and an opportunity there with love, with making a difference, with just being there for someone. You do not have to bring it up. Definitely, I wouldn't suggest to just walk up to them and say something, you know, say that you've noticed that they're, you know, I wouldn't say you go up to them and you tell them that something is wrong and it's making you think that maybe something's wrong with them. There's often a way to say it, and I've thought about this before. I kind of want to help us figure out how to phrase things and interact with different subjects. I've thought about trying to do some kind of coaching, because I generally can come up with a way to phrase something. And I don't want to say always can, a way to phrase it that just works better. I can come up with an idea, but it's just situations vary so much and they're so complex that even if I'm very good at that, and I know I'm good at it, it doesn't mean it'd be 100%. But sometimes I don't want to suggest that we as autists and ADHDers walk up to someone and say something like, oh, I'm wondering if you're okay, because it's in how you phrase it, it's how you approach it. But maybe you can quietly pay attention. You don't have to necessarily bring it up, You don't even have to tell them why you're asking. Maybe if you see another person who seems to be struggling with their hygiene, their body care, and especially if you know they are neurodivergent, if they're giving off, if they just seem to be autistic and or ADHD, maybe you can just ask them, what's up? I'm curious. Just want to ask you how you are. And like, I really mean it. I want to know what's going on in your life. Because if you just ask that question without going into all of the details and offering exactly why, sometimes it can open up a dialogue. And maybe you can make a difference in that person's life. Maybe knowing that somebody cares can make a difference in a situation that's safe. Always in a situation if you know that you're safe. And if you can do it, this is why I'm thinking about this. I don't want to put all these different rules on how you would address it, but I know that we don't always know exactly how to walk up and phrase something. And I've spent my life learning this stuff, and I have got an infinite inner dialogue and infinite inner situations. That's what I've done all of my life. The human condition and the human experience has been my top interest, or they call it a special interest. So I've spent decades of my life studying this, and every now and then someone is just talking about something and I can offer my knowledge translating what just took place or helping them figure out what to say and how to address a situation. Even just as simple as the other day, someone was trying to figure out how to wrap a bunch of gifts for a bunch of people, and I was able to just tell them, oh, here's what you do. It's very easy. It's gonna look very nice. It's not a whole lot of work. And I had a moment of just feeling fulfilled because I could see that this person is really paying attention, and I might have been helping. Whether or not they take the suggestion, I usually have one, and I know it can help. But I want to sum that up to say, if you notice a neurodivergent who seems like they're struggling, maybe they're not okay. And maybe there's a way to handle that, or to bring it up, to address it, without saying something that they might find embarrassing or anything. And I wouldn't know how to do that. So that's why I'm trying to give some suggestions here. One more thing on the subject that I just reminded myself of, the issue of convenience, because sometimes I find that I'm going to call it convenience, and that might be summing it up a little bit too much, but for me, the more convenient anything is, the more likely I am to do it. So there was a situation I had, there was a time frame when I would just have my stuff in the bathroom, and so it's easier for me to just be in the bathroom and suddenly decide I'm going to go perform hygienic practices. And now, I've had ups and downs, like not ups and downs, but it's varied, where all my stuff is there, some of my stuff is there, none of my stuff is there. And in any moment in my life where none of my stuff is in there, or when I just don't have the right stuff, near the running water or near the water supply, it just makes it a lot harder for me, because then if I'm there and I'm like, oh, I could do this thing right now, well, I can't, because now I have to go get all of my stuff. If I'm, for instance, I said I like to wash my hair in the sink, I'll be like, okay, well, I'm doing all this stuff, the sink is clean, I could wash my hair, but I don't have my towel with me, I don't have my shampoo with me, I don't have my conditioner, I don't have my peppermint soap, and I don't have any of that stuff together. Like, I'll mix the shampoo, not conditioner, I mix the shampoo and the soap, and that's why it feels so good doing that massage with the peppermint on my scalp and the beautiful smell. Oh my gosh, I love that. But I have to go get that stuff in order to do my hair. And then we do run into executive functioning and stuff. We run into this fun thing that seems to be greatly my ADHD brain, because that's where I run into people, even pure ADHDers who are not also autistic. That's where they constantly mention this. I'll be like, okay, then I'll just go get my stuff. And so then at the end of the day, I'll be like, dang, I didn't wash my hair. Because by the time I got to where my stuff is, apparently I had already completely forgotten that washing my hair was a thing. I forgot it was possible. I forgot it was a thing. I wasn't even thinking about the subject anymore. I think I was thinking of it in the first place because I was looking at the sink. And when I'm not looking at the sink anymore, I'm on my way, focused on my mission. Boom, Nothing. I'll remember. At the end of the day, I'll remember. In 3 days. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm not remembering when I planned on doing it. And also, if I have to go do all of this work to go gather all of my hair stuff, like, the thing that gets me is my hair is a certain length and I need it to be of ease. So I have a particular towel that I prefer to use. It's not the only one I can use, but I don't know how to explain it. There are different weights and thicknesses and all this stuff, so I have the one that works best, right? One time I was just about to wash my hair. I managed to get to all of my hair stuff. I grabbed all of the products. I was on my way. I looked for my towel, and then I suddenly remembered I had just put it into the hamper. Now, I personally, because again, it's just my taste, and it's just who I am. I personally am a person where if I put it into the hamper, you're my beloved towel until you get in there. But the instant I put you in the hamper, you're dead to me. I don't want you anymore. We're not going to talk until after I've done laundry and you are absolutely fluffy and beautiful and delightful again. So I just got everything together, and it's happened more than once, but it happened fairly recently, and I was like, dang, I literally put it in there the night before knowing I was going to do laundry. Not only did I not end up doing the laundry, I forgot it was a thing and decided impromptu, I'm going to wash my hair. Went and got all of the work done, remembered to get my stuff, and then I was like, the towel. So then I'm standing there figuring if I should use another towel, and it's a little complex because the towel I use is jet black and I always have color in my hair. So I've got to now basically mesh the color in my hair with the towel I'm using, and just about any color I have in my hair is going to ruin just about any other towel. So that's a big reason to use this one. I'm just like, I did all this work and I foiled myself the night before and didn't even realize it. Well, of course, because I wasn't planning to wash my hair the night before. But like I said, if I were in a situation where for some reason I just had my, if I lived in a different place, in a different situation, I might do this, but because it works for me. But if I just randomly had my shampoos and things and I had a place to keep my towel, so, it's nearby and it's in the kitchen, and I can just instantly wash my hair when I think about it, that would be way easier. But that wasn't the case. So I ended up foiled and I didn't get it done. And so, an issue of convenience. And it could be a convenience about whether you have your products and things nearby, or I actually find hygiene to be inconvenient if I'm in a place where I don't know what to expect.